Good morning. I'm Madam Mercy, and today I'm going to take you through adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe or modify a noun or a pronoun by giving more information about it. They modify or describe a noun or a pronoun by giving more information about it. We have different types of adjectives. So I'm going to tell you the types of adjectives. The first one, we have descriptive adjective. As the name suggests, it describes the quality or kind, e.g., tall, blue, delicious. An example in a sentence, you can say, she wore a red dress. She wore a red dress. So red, it describes the color of the dress. Which dress is the noun? The second one, we have quantitative adjectives. They show the quantity. They show the quantity, e.g., some, many, few. Example in a sentence, I have 3 pens. I have 3 pens. It shows how many pens that person has. 3 pens. Then demonstrative adjective. Demonstrative adjective, it demonstrates. Point out specific nouns, e.g., this, that, those. Example, this book is interesting. This book is interesting. So it shows which book is interesting. We go to the fourth one, that is possessive adjective. It shows ownership. It shows ownership, e.g., my, yours, his, ours, and so many. For example, our teacher is kind. Our teacher is kind. It shows there is no other teacher that is kind but only ours. So our teacher is kind. Then we have interrogative adjective. Used in questions, e.g., which, what. Example in a sentence, which dress do you like? Which dress do you like? Then we have distributive adjective. Refer to individual member of a group, e.g., each student received a book. Each student received a book. Then degrees of comparison. Degrees of comparison. We have positive, that is, she is tall. Tall. Then we have comparative, she is taller than her sisters. She is taller than her sisters. Then we have superlative. When we talk about degrees of comparison, we talk about the positive comparison, comparative, and superlative. That is taller, taller, tallest, or big, bigger, biggest. Yes. When we use taller, I say taller than. Then we have positions of adjective. Position of adjectives. We use an adjective before the noun, e.g., a beautiful garden. The noun there is garden and the adjective is beautiful. So a beautiful garden. Beautiful, that is the adjective that has been used before the garden to show how the garden is. Then there's after the noun. It is when you use an adjective after the noun, you use it with a linking verb. The garden is beautiful. The garden is beautiful. The garden is the noun. Then is the linking verb, and beautiful is the adjective. Then, anyone who has a question there concerning an adjective? Anyone with a question? If there is none, that is good. I hope you are together. Then we have we have some example like tree, tall, green. Yeah. The next one is a practice exercise. The first says, walk around your school compound or neighborhood and list 5 things you see that are adjectives. Then write adjective to describe each thing. Example, a tree, a tall, green. Thank you. We are done. Next, nimpe hizi. Ama utaki hizi? We have viewers. Check.
It's an objective exam. Huh? Fields. Yep. Nemo. Oh.
Nianze tayari. Nianze. So, good morning class.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Felix. So today I'm going to help you understand the most important parts of speech. So today we are going to learn about nouns. So I think everyone knows what a noun is, right? So a noun are words that name a person, place, thing, or ideas. So I think anyone now can define a noun. Are we together? So let's go to types of noun. So let's begin with common nouns. So common nouns name general items. Like now you can say a book, a teacher, a pen, like a chart, yeah, a whiteboard. So common nouns, like it's not a must that you begin with capital letters. So it names general items like a tree, a book, a pen, and whatever. So who can give us one example of a common noun?
Chair.
Yes. Teacher, yes.
Table.
Table, yes. Good. Now next we are going to proper nouns. Now proper nouns name specific places, people, and begin with capital letters. Now, like for example, from where you come from. Like where do you come from? Yeah, Bungoma. Now Bungoma, like it's a name of a place, so you must begin with a capital letter. Yes, what's your name? Yeah, so her name begins, you must begin your name with a capital letter. So next we go to countable nouns. So countable nouns, they can be counted and have plural forms. You can say there's one pen, two pens, three pens, like one mango, two mangoes. So yeah, so countable nouns, like also it's not a must to begin with a capital letter. So they name everything. Next is uncountable nouns. So uncountable nouns, they cannot be counted. Like now, for example, you can't say waters, like yes, 2 waters, 3 waters, or 4 waters. You say like I'm drinking a glass of water. Like now, can you give us another example of? Yeah, you can name sugar. Another one. Sand. Yes, another one. Salt. Yeah, another one. Yeah, good. So those are uncountable nouns. Up to there, who was a question? Okay, I guess we have understood. Now, so next we're going to collective nouns. So collective nouns refers to groups of people or things. So you can say like a gang of thieves, yeah, a team of players, a bouquet of flowers. Yes. Yeah. Another one. A flock of sheep. Yes. Any other? Yeah. Good. Yes. Yeah, a gang of robbers. So another one is compound nouns. So they are formed by combining two or more words. Like for example, you can say bathroom, car wash. Another example? Yeah, headmaster. Yes. Yeah, breakfast. Yes. Storekeeper. Yes. A teacher. Good. So the last one is possessive nouns. So they show ownership. Like you can say the chart is like you can say the girl's book. So now this book belongs to the girl. So when you use this, it shows that the book belongs to the girl. So you can say like the dog's toy. So the toy belongs to the toy. So up to there was a question. I think now. So nouns. So now I guess now everyone knows what a noun is, and when asked a question, you can answer for any question from nouns. Or am I wrong? Okay, so from your textbook, page 115, so you do the assignment there on nouns. So have a nice day. Naenda sasa.
Huh? Good morning, class. Today I'll be taking you through adjectives, and by the end of the lesson, I'm expecting you to be able to define and identify the different types of adjectives. Now with the definition, an adjective is a word that describes, modifies, or gives more information about a noun or a pronoun. And adjectives provide details such as appearance, quantity, size, age, color, opinion, origin, or possessions. Example, a brilliant student. Brilliant shows that the student is smart. 3 large buildings. 3 large shows the number and the size of the buildings. Going straight to the function, they describe qualities stroke attributes, e.g. a creative learner. Creative is the adjective, shows that the learner is creative. Another example, a warm climate. Warm is the adjective. The second function is to specify or limit meaning, e.g. 2 bags. 2 is the adjective in that sentence. The third function, compare nouns, e.g. taller. You can say Mohammed is taller than Ali. The adjective there is taller. Then we go to types of adjectives. We have descriptive or quantitative adjective. they describe qualities, e.g. tall, intelligent, or colorful. You can say Ali is tall. The adjective there being tall. Another type is qualitative adjective. They show how much, e.g. little, some, much. You can say, example in a sentence is, how much money do you want? The adjective there is much. And another type is numerical adjectives. They indicate numbers, e.g. 1, 2, or first and 10. Another type is demonstrative adjective. They point out specific nouns, e.g. this, that, and those. Example in a sentence, this is my heart. Another one is, that is his house. Then you go to possessive adjective. They show ownership. Examples, mine, your, our. Example in a sentence, this is my house. It shows that this house belongs to me and nobody else. Then you have interrogative adjective. They refer to individual items, e.g. whose, which, what. Example in a sentence, which book was stolen? It shows the which in that sentence, what's the word? It separates a certain book from maybe 10 books, which the person who is asking is trying to know if it was stolen or not. Then, adjectives can be used in comparison, e.g., the first point to positive degree, they describe quality without comparison, e.g. smart, heavy. In a sentence, that boy is smart. Smart, in that sentence, there can be a group of boys, but when you say that boy is smart, it separates that boy from the rest of the group, indicating that that boy is smart or clever. There is superlative degree, compares 3 or more nouns. E.g., in our example in a word, tall, the word tall can, in its superlative and comparative form, is tall, taller, tallest. When you use taller, it separates two. Let's say you are talking about two boys. Let's say Ali is taller than Muhammad. It shows among the two boys, Ali is the one who is tall. When we go to tallest, it is used to separate 2 or more. Three or more. Used to separate between. Let's say when you have a group of 3 or more, that's when you use taller. Then we have irregular comparison, e.g., good, better, best. Yeah, that's it for me. Do you have any questions? Questions? Okay, that's it. The next. Oh.
Yes, thank you, Mwalimu. Let's have our next presenter on board. I don't think so.
Good morning, class. I'm Bilhama Sitsa. So today we are going to talk about formal letters. So on our previous lesson, we talked about informal letters. We defined informal letters as letters written to friends, family, relatives, and people we know. So who has an idea of what a formal letter is? Formal letters. Who do we write to when we are writing formal letters? Office. A person who you are not close to. So simply, formal letters are official letters written to people in authority, institutions, or someone you do not know personally. So we write formal letters. We have reasons for writing formal letters. We write formal letters to request for permission, to complain, to apply for jobs, to make inquiries, and to show appreciation. So, what is the format of writing a formal letter? So with me here, there's a chart that has the format of writing a formal letters. So we have the sender's address at the top right of your paper when you're writing the letter. Then we write the date. The date comes just below the sender's address. Then we have the receiver's address at the left side. So remember, the date comes before the receiver's address. Then after the receiver's address, we have salutation. By salutation, I mean you can write dear sir or madam if you don't know the gender that you are addressing. Then we have the subject after the salutation. The reference can be, so the reference is the reason for you writing that letter. For example, reference can be requesting for permission or to make inquiries of something. Then after the reference, we have the body, now the paragraph. So we have the introduction. You introduce yourself in the first paragraph of the letter. Then the main idea, why are you writing this letter? Maybe I'm writing this letter to ask for a job at your company. Then we have closing. So a formal letter is simply a short letter. It's not long like a friendly letter. You go straight to the point of what you want to tell the person, in office. Then what kind of language do we use in a formal letter? So in formal letters, we use formal and polite language. We use clear language. We don't use slang. And also there is use of correct grammar and punctuation. So after you have written your letter, you sign off at the end of the letter, at the left side. You sign off, then you write your name. Maybe if you have an occupation, you can include the occupation there. So, any questions on formal letters? Anyone with a question on formal letters? So simply you have said, to summarize, you have said that a formal letter is a letter written to a person in office, an institution, or a person you don't know. We have also mentioned the uses of formal letters, and we now know the format from the chart of formal letters. We know the language to use. So for your practice, I want you to write a formal letter to your principal requesting for permission to organize a class debate. Then for your community learning activity, you write a short letter to your chief appreciating for a community cleanup activity. So that's the end of our lesson. Thank you.
Good morning, students. My name is Emmanuel Nalianya, and today I'm privileged again to see another day to take you through this work. First, in our previous class, we were learning about the literary forms used in writing, and we had mentioned some of the literary forms. What had we mentioned? We mentioned of prose, right? The prose includes the letters. And you know, when we mentioned about prose, these are just the written form that uses simple language or ordinary language, like the letters and whatever. We have oral literature, you know, that's the forms through a word of mouth, and we mentioned also poetry. And also, what did we mention again? Okay, straight on today's lesson, we are going to narrow down to poetry. And at the end of this lesson, I want you all to understand the key elements that are used in poetry. For instance, if I may ask, what is poetry? What's the difference between poetry and a poem? Just on the insight of what we are learning, poetry mostly, when I say poetry, it's like the study of the structure of the form and everything, but a poem is that written verse. No. Poetry is used to express ideas, emotions, and stories in a powerful way, in a very unique way, that is just for poems. No. And these are the elements that today we are going to narrow down and look at them. The way ideas, the way emotions are expressed in a unique way, in a condensed way. First, we say it uses figurative language. You know, the language of the poem, it uses the vivid imaginations and comparisons. And when I say comparisons, I mean something like similes. You know, similes like a stool, as a giraffe, ama, it was big, like something, the aspect of comparison. And we have metaphor. Metaphor is direct comparison, and we really like use metaphors in our contemporary society. When I say metaphor, maybe I say he was a lion. I mean, the person was so brave, right? And we have personification, still under figurative language, you have personification. And personification, it uses human traits on non-human characters. No. Mfano, the sun smile, no. The book shining, no. We have other elements under figurative language like hyperbole. And hyperbole is just exaggeration for emphasis. And exaggeration for emphasis, we mostly use for poems to get this condensed message to a person reading. So the major symbol under figurative language is symbolism. That's what is used mostly in poem. And you know, actions or words that represent deeper meaning. Some of the other elements, we under structure, we have the rhyme. Under the structure of the poem, we can study the rhyme, and under the rhyme, we see that how poems is organized into stanza or line, and it has that rhyming scheme, that repetition of similar sounds. No. So, under structure, I want to go further and look at rhyme. I want to go further and look at other sound devices. And I said rhyme is one of the devices. So we have alliteration, and you know alliteration is just repetition of the similar consonant sounds at the beginning of the word. We have assonance, that's a repetition of vowels. Yeah, vowel sound. We have consonants, that's repetition of consonant sounds at both maybe the beginning, the end, ama katikati. And we have onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, it uses the sounds that, how the word sounds. Mfano, poop, pwa, splash for water. Sorry. We are going to look for other elements of which it's theme as the element of poetry. Theme, this is the central idea of what the poet is trying to communicate. Or you as the reader, what you are reading, the message that you get from the poem. That's the theme. And we have some other elements that are used in poetry, such as imagery. And imagery is a very good work of poem. And when I say imagery, this is a language that appeals to the senses. The language that appeals to the senses. The senses such as sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. So there is a way in a poem that you can arrange words or play with these words to mean sight, to create that imagery, Mfano, the tree was dancing along the wind. That's work of imagery, because you will be able to have that vivid image of the tree. Tone and mood, that's specifically for tone, the poet's attitudes towards the subject. Mfano, the poet can be sarcastic. And what again have I not covered? Voice and speaker, the narrative voice of the poem. So these are just elements of the poem, and what I want you to go and do as a learning activity, in your group of 5, I want you to go and identify one poem, at least read loud together, and identify those elements. And as we will be meeting on our next class, we will be going straight to each element and explaining them, how they affect the literary work. So we shall adjourn from there. Thank you. Oops, sorry. Hey.
Good morning. Okay, I'm Madam Calvin, and I'm going to take you through pronouns. First, we are going to define the word pronoun. And a pronoun is a word used to replace a noun in a sentence to avoid repetition of the noun many times. See, I assume all of us know the meaning of a noun, right? A noun is a name of a place or a thing, or for example, names of people like Fidel. So instead of repeating the name Fidel, you use a pronoun instead. Examples of pronouns are he, she, it, they, I, and you. So instead of saying Fidel, you say he. Okay. Example in a sentence: I'm a pupil. So instead of saying Fidel is a pupil, you say okay, sorry. I'm a pupil. Instead of saying what? Yes. Instead of saying you use the word I. Okay, yeah. She is afraid. The word she is a pronoun. This is a book, it is new. It, they are playing. So, we have the pronouns. We have the systems of pronouns. Today, we are going to learn about we have the personal pronouns. These are pronouns that replace names of people and
Mr. Moremi, I'll be taking you through sentence structure and as sentences. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify, define simple, complex, and compound sentences, and be able to differentiate between the three according to their distinctive characteristics. Let's have a recap before we start our lesson. Who can tell me what a sentence is? Sentence, what does it comprise of?
I think it's words form put together to form a sentence.
Okay. Yes?
Just more words together, form a sentence, but with a clear make meaning.
Yeah. Nice. You can say a sentence comprises of a subject, a verb, and an object. Now let's look at sentence structure. A sentence structure deals with how clauses, and a clause is just a noun and a verb, how they combine to form a sentence. We will start with a simple sentence. A simple sentence comprises of a single independent clause. For example, she went to eat. That's an independent clause. The second one is a compound sentence. A compound sentence is made up of two independent clauses combined using a coordinating conjunction. An example of a coordinating conjunction is and. We can say John was running and Muhammad was eating some breakfast. The coordinating conjunction there used is and. Let's look at complex sentences. Complex sentences are made up of one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses combined together by a subordinating conjunction. For example, you can say, as soon as I left the class, the lecturer gave out some assignment. You have realized I have used the subordinating conjunction at the beginning of a sentence. Hence, to distinguish between the two sentences, you must use a comma if you have used a subordinating conjunction at the beginning of a sentence or shortly before an independent clause. Yeah, that's what about the sentence structure comprises of. Any question? There's some key points as I conclude. We can also place sentences and using their function. For example, there are imperative sentences, exclamative, descriptive, and etc. Also, you can use to avoid confusion, coordinating conjunction, they are used to join sentences of the same grammatical rank. and subordinating conjunction are used to join sentences. For example, a subordinating clause and a dependent clause. An example of coordinating conjunction I've given for, and, nor, so, and etc. Subordinating clause conjunction. Example are although, as soon as, and etc. Thank you for your cooperation. Ensure you tackle the questions in KLB page 193. Let's meet in our next lesson.